We're now live.
Fantastic.
Okay, so this is where we left off. Move the. Okay, so this. Let me move you guys. So this is where you are. You're here. You're in. Last.
In that shop.
Yeah, last game we were in this shop, the exotic goods shop with the Sultan of Agrabah looking dude giving you all your exotic weapons and potions. So there are a few other places you can go. The big building that you can see over there, that is the brothel. So there are some more people that you can talk to. There are some more things that you can do in town. So far, you know that there is a dragon, and you need to do something about it for the townsfolk. That's not all there is to know about this situation, but it's certainly a great deal more than you knew when you woke up naked with amnesia of the previous night, blackout drunk, having done God knows what with two other dudes. So, what are we doing?
I would like to seek out the blacksmith.
Okay. Excellent.
As just the next shop owner, like I think we need to talk to basically like all the big shop owners who were involved with paying off the dragon. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say that let's say the blacksmith is over here.
It's not extortion, it's quid pro quo. I'll join him.
Okay. Sean, what do you want to do?
I will follow the paladin
Pincushion the mighty.
Anti-paladin.
Sir Paladin, the pincushion.
Okay. All right. So the blacksmith is outside at his outdoor forge, hammering away on what appears to be a washboard, probably for one of the locals. Scattered around his workstation, which appears to be very messy. He's not a very organized guy. Are a random assortment of tools, some nails that he's made. He's wearing steel boots because he's probably learned his lesson, rather than cleaning up his mess, to just wear steel boots so he doesn't drive a nail through his foot. He's hammering away on a washboard that he's making for a local. He doesn't notice the three of you arriving.
Well, I imagine one of us will have to push the A button and get his attention.
Talk.
Yeah, yeah. One of you is gonna have to say something to him, or you can just watch him
Don't
him
me.
work.
I'm just here to reap off of whatever benefits you sow.
Greetings, sir.
He takes a look at Pincushion, admires your armor momentarily, and then returns your greeting. Hello, you must be a knight.
Something like that, yes. We are. I'm curious about like your skill set. How good are you? Like, what sort of exotic materials do you have you worked with?
Oh, I've worked with all sorts of materials. I am, in fact, a level 100 blacksmith with all of with all of the skill perks.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah.
All the skill perks. Smithing 100. All skill perks. I can work with any material.
Over here.
But I am currently employed in the making of local household objects, as those tend to be the ones that have the most. That's just what most people need around here. We don't do a lot of fighting, so for the most part, I would love to make some armor as fine and as exotic as yours, but I don't generally get such commissions. He holds up the washboard that he's making. This is my day to day. And then
You're,
he gestures
a man
over
that's
at
business savvy. It doesn't make sense to make things that can't sell.
exactly. He gestures over at a very large barrel that is filled to the brim with horseshoe nails. I like to keep myself busy, and unfortunately, these are what sell the most.
Understandable. Sounds like you used to do a lot more business in warfare. What happened?
Well, I, like my father and grandfather and great-grandfather, all of my fathers before me, I'm just the town blacksmith. There's a lot of industry that happens here. We don't have a lot of, there aren't many call to arms. I've had the occasional commission for an exotic suit of armor, but generally it's for a well-decorated lord that wants to look his best at his knighting ceremony. Doesn't generally happen very, very often, as there are not many valorous deeds to be rewarded with a knighthood in these parts. Occasionally I'll make a sword for someone. Some of the boys here save up their wages for a great long time so they can have themselves a sword. Sometimes they practice, most of the time it's just so they can say that they have one. Not a lot of fighting goes on here. So I have made some lovely exotic armor, but for the most part I've leveled up my smithing skill, making hide helmets and steel daggers.
Leather bracer, leather bracer, leather bracer, leather bracer.
Basically. So yeah, I guess you can say that I've made my fortune in the horseshoeing business. A lot of yokes, a lot of horseshoes, a lot of nails, household tools, farming equipment, a lot of farms. We produce a great deal of agriculture here, and there's a lot of trade that comes through this town. I would say this is the main trade hub for the county. So a lot of my work does get shipped off to other towns and cities and villages.
Right. Question. Just kind of like as we've been wandering around town, like, have we noticed the city guard at all?
Not really.
Any sort of just like even mild presence to keep the peace.
Roll a perception check. Is that something that you were looking for?
I mean, it's something that I would have taken notice of, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you have blinders in your helmet. Maybe you should roll.
Let's see. Yeah. 15.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't noticed any guards.
Huh.
There doesn't seem to be any perceivable peacekeeping. Like, all of the villagers that you have seen have been relatively fat and happy.
Tell me,
Okay.
are there any wicker baskets in here approximately head-sized?
Roll a perception check. Roll a search. Roll a search.
I think he was asking him.
Oh, you're asking the blacks.
No,
Okay.
Oh, you're okay.
That was out of character.
I don't know. Roll a search.
Okay, I will roll a search.
Roll a search.
16.
Okay. Behind his workstation, there is a stool and a bucket. The bucket has a sludge in the bottom of it, and was probably used during one of his breaks. Evo.
Whatever I want.
Whatever you want. All right, Kel.
I'll go.
Kel Foxshroud, you've been very quiet during this game. What is your character doing? What do you want to do?
I am just observing
He's just observing.
Collecting information.
He's just like just watching,
Researching the people we'll be traveling with.
taking notes. You see the gnome sneak around a table and lift what appears to be a shit bucket.
Waste bucket.
A waste bucket. The shitter, the blacksmith shit bucket, and swirl it around thoughtfully.
Yes, a fine year.
Excellent vintage. Oh, it has legs. All right. So you've got the blacksmith shit bucket. You have your blacksmith. You have the information about the village from the blacksmith. What do you want to do now?
Can I commission you for a giant caltrop?
The blacksmith looks down at you thoughtfully.
What would it take to make this worth more than you're currently working on?
The blacksmith regards you thoughtfully, and then asks, "So, would a giant caltrop for you be a regular-sized caltrop for me?"
No, I want like a 1 foot
I like
tall
this guy.
caltrop.
A
Just
one 1 foot tall caltrop.
Yes.
Yes. I will make that for you. When do you need it by? I can have it done by the end of the evening.
That would be most acceptable.
Are you sure you don't want... What are these for? He raises an eyebrow.
I don't know what that word means.
Yeah. Having rolled a three, he doesn't understand the meaning of that word. Why do you need only one? I could make several. It wouldn't take very long. In fact, I could make a cast and make a whole bucket of 1 foot tall caltrops. A very large bucket full of large for me bucket of caltrops.
Well, a very astute gentleman once said that reference matters. So if you take a look at the size of my backpack, how many do you think are going to fit?
Maybe I could also give you a
3 or 4 if you angle them right.
He holds up a rope. I could secure up to 5 to your backpack with this length of rope.
Excellent. Then what would I owe you for such a feat?
How much do you have?
Would 5 gold pieces be worth your time?
No. This is an unusual commission, and that much iron or steel would certainly cost more than 5 gold pieces.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but 20 is the best I can do.
I can't do it for less than 200.
That is a shame.
I'll give you...
What if I said they were crucial in the mission to assist you with your problem here in town?
The blacksmith gestures down at the bucket, and he says, "Well, I don't know if you could provide me enough fiber to assist me with my current problem."
Let me put it this way: you do say that, and you do appear to be a man of great skill. We may be coming into a great deal of dragon hide in the near future if you'd be interested in working that and assisting us with tools to secure it.
His eyes go wide at the mention of the word dragon. We do not say that word. He lowers his work hammer and raises a war hammer, and gestures out the way that you came.
I think we should leave the nice man with the shiny hammer be.
I would like to attempt to appear intimidating to get some additional information out of him.
Okay, roll intimidation.
Yeah. Can I? Oh, that's a good roll.
What'd you roll? What'd you get?
I rolled a 17. Where my character sheet?
He rolled a 20. He is not intimidated.
I mean, skill checks are.
So, anybody else want to roll for diplomacy and maybe offer him a?
If you want the actual number after modifier, it is a 30.
Oh, okay. He's somewhat intimidated, but doesn't appear to be. Lowers himself.
Hiding it well.
He's a very greasy, dirty man covered with soot and has a large, shiny hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably the beefiest dude here. Besides, the bartender isn't as beefy as he could be. He's a big ass beefy dude. He's the only one in the village that doesn't appear to be jello-y.
That's fair. While we're there, like, both of us, like, just kind of like squaring away, like, kind of like staring each other down.
The anime stare down.
Yeah. Like we're doing the tough guy stare down.
It's like
I'll grumble to him softly. Is like I'll agree not to speak the words, but we do require information and tools.
I stated my price. If your tools are for the purpose that I think they are, then I'm sure the three of you gentlemen can pay the price that I quoted for the 5 caltrops that I suggested for this job.
When we return, sir. Consider it an investment.
He looks the three of you up and down and regards your armor, weapons, and equipment, and says, I believe that you can either trade for these, or you can pay the sum that I requested.
It's good enough for me. I'll settle just for information. It's up to you whether you want to continue badgering him for caltrops.
No, they're not important enough for me to continue badgering, I think.
I don't know. Meta. I think caltrops are a good idea. Maybe you could have. Maybe you could roll diplomacy and maybe you could roll diplomacy and haggle him down. Maybe you have something else you can give him.
I suppose I will attempt a diplomacy roll, but that's not going to go well for me.
I have this mystery potion that is red and spews violet fumes. If you want to have a drink.
He's not interested in the potion.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very menacing looking thing.
I don't even remember what that potion does. Perhaps we can settle on 3 caltrops. Perhaps we can settle on 3 caltrops, and you can pay me 100 gold.
Well, I suppose if anyone's willing to spot me.
Nope.
I have no interest in that.
Then it would appear that I do not have the required golden materials.
Mike, don't you have 200 gold?
No, I spent a bunch of it already.
On potions and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Because pure light potions are like actually expensive as balls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad. It's too bad that you did that. Too bad that you made that decision.
It's probably not too bad for me, considering I'm a squishy 32 HP with a 13 AC.
You have 32 HP?
Yes.
As a wizard?
That's what it rolled out for me.
That's a lot
How
for
the
a wizard.
Fuck?
That's a lot for a
My
wizard.
constitution is a 16.
Okay, that certainly helps because that's 15 by itself.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the blacksmith returns to his
Jesus,
work.
That means you averaged just over a 3 on D4s. Holy god damn.
Yeah, I have a shit. My strength is 5.
Whoa, okay, holy
Strength
shit.
was my dump stat.
Jesus.
I
what
could
the
carry
fuck?
50 pounds.
God.
Are you okay, Sean? Did you get attacked?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen him do that before.
Was he attacking the sleeves?
No. I think he didn't want to be held.
Was it
holding
baby
him
cat?
like a baby. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was holding him like a baby, and I think that he was not having it.
Oh yeah.
He just he waited for me.
He
He dug his claw into my neck.
He loves it when I do that to him.
He usually does when I do too. I think he just wasn't in the mood right now. Yeah, you know how cats are.
Yeah. The blacksmith returns
It's
to his
got a
work.
headache.
No longer interested in the three of you. The blacksmith returns to his work, hammering away at a washboard, and then grabbing another sheet of steel and beginning work on another one.
This is like a live episode of How It's Made.
Right.
Watch until these guys leave.
Okay.
Okay, so there was the alchemist stand wasn't part of the big businesses.
No. No, he's just like a teenage boy that learned how to make cure light wounds potions for his grandpa to help with his gout.
So there's the brothel, the exotic goods, the blacksmith. What were the other places that we identified as the big ones?
There's a tavern/inn, brothel, blacksmith, exotic goods, tavern/inn, and then there are a few. There's a general goods store.
Okay.
So maybe there are only 5 businesses, and then there are farms outside of town.
Oh, okay. And so probably some of the more prosperous farms
and
are
there's-
involved.
Yeah. Or you could probably even ask some of the people who live in the countryside if they've seen anything.
I would like to try and ask the blacksmith one more question, if he could maybe give us any indication as to who else is involved in this problem, because we would like to help the town out.
Well, you could ask him.
I that's what I say. I'm trying to ask him.
But you haven't. You've just said that you would like to.
Oh well.
Gotta role play this shit, Ben.
One more question before we get out of your hair.
Very well.
With this problem that the town is having, we're trying to help everyone out. Could you tell us maybe who else is involved? We've already spoken with these few people. Who else do we need to seek out?
I would. There aren't many people in town that know about the dragon other than the business owners, and for the most part.
You said the word.
Well, he rolled a 3. So he said as I say, we do not speak of it. We do not speak of it, and
we don't speak of it.
We do not often speak of the problem.
Of the thing.
Of the thing. He catches himself this time.
It's very sensitive emotionally.
We do not speak of it because we know that this creature is magical, and so therefore we know that if we say what it is, it can pinpoint our speech. It knows when we're talking about it. It must.
I don't think it does, but go on.
It that shall not be named. The other people besides the business owners in town do not know about this creature. We do not speak of it. They're happy. We keep them happy. We are doing this for the safety of all. But perhaps there are some people in the countryside that know more. The alchemist's grandfather lives in the countryside. Perhaps he can give you more information. Perhaps some people who live in the hills can tell you. For I do not know its habits, and I do not think the three of you will be able to take on a creature that powerful without knowing more about it.
We'll see.
I
just turn and leave.
He throws the finished washboard onto the pile and grabs another sheet and continues his work. Where do you go?
What's closer, the inn or the general goods store? Because those are the next places that we need to check.
I guess you could go to the general goods store. It's just across the way.
Okay. Yeah. That should probably just efficient traveling through town as we stop on our quest objectives.
Okay.
I'm gonna step outside for a second though. I'll be right back.
Okay. So that means Evo and Kel need to add some dialogue to this game.
I suppose I could follow along to the general goods store.
Very well. The three of you are standing outside of the general goods store. There are several windows filled with goods that are generally fine.
This is generally good.
Some of them are good, some of them are fine. Yes.
Generally probably good overall though.
Yeah. Generally it's pretty good. There are things in the windows, like there are a few books. There are some jars of buttons, spools of thread. There's a pin cushion filled with pins. There's a skull with candles sticking out the sides. Probably more of a window decoration than anything. Doesn't appear to be very useful.
So tell me, does this general store have any bags of flour or marbles?
You're not in the store. You're outside of the store. So how would you know?
Well, by peeking in through the door.
Oh, you're okay. So you're going into the door. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. You enter the door.
That is a quality door.
It was a very nice door.
My god, I love this.
It was a very heavy door. Like probably crafted by the blacksmith.
I guess now that I am in the general store, do I see general goods such as like flour, or do they have anything like marbles? Look around.
There does appear to be a cabinet that has small bags of flour and sugar. You don't see any marbles, but there is an elderly man in a chair behind the counter, just sort of snoozing.
I would like to approach the man and ask him some questions.
Okay. He blinks a few times, slowly opens his eyes, looks up at you. What can I do for you, my boy?
I am just a traveler doing some work in the area. I have some questions for you if you have a minute.
Oh, okay. What questions can I answer for you, son?
That's not a question. Please try again.
I'm curious. I haven't noticed much of a guard around town. Do you guys not get much trouble around here?
No, not since I was a very young lad. We had a few goblin raids and some kobolds, but not a whole lot of action. Not for a long time.
Is there a reason for that?
Oh my, yes.
What would that reason be?
Having rolled a 3, he's going to spill all of the information that he knows. Well, you see.
Wait, can you hang on for a second?
Okay.
Bad, come inside! I assume he's gonna want to hear all of this.
He's still standing outside.
Yeah, he's outside.
That sounds like his problem.
Ben, maybe you should come inside the general store very quickly.
Okay. Gotta go fast.
Okay. So Alhazard the pincushion, hellknight, is still standing outside.
Well, I walk in.
Okay. The old man is unthreatened by your aura of evil, and has just begun telling the gnome and the half elf his tale, because he rolled a 3, and being old and having just a slight touch of
the dementia.
This man's got dementia. So you may or may not get correct information from him, but he's just going to tell you everything.
Get on with it, old man.
Well, you see, when I was a small boy, my grandfather ran the general store. He was an adventurer, and he used to slay all sorts of creatures in these lands. Giant snakes, kobolds. We had quite a kobold problem here. And then one day, this very nice blue-skinned gentleman came to town, claiming that he was he whispered, one of those scaly flying things. Then that he could keep away all of the monsters and such, and all we had to do is pay him a fee, and he would keep away all of the horrible creatures and all of the bandits. So, in exchange for eating all of the corpses of all of the evil creatures in the land, and also a small pittance, large pittance, very large pittance, from each of the businesses and also the local lord, he keeps away all of the baddies, and we get to prosper here in this growing community. However, over the years, the pittance it's become quite a large sum, and some of us are having trouble keeping up. But when I was a little boy, there was this beautiful young woman that came to town, and she had the most magnificent flowing red hair and the largest boobies anyone has ever seen, and she went and worked at that there establishment down there, and I had quite a thing for her, but I never could quite get her attention. And he sort of rambles on about what you can only assume must be the madam of the brothel, and then falls asleep.
I would like to wake him back up and ask him more questions.
Okay, roll. You're gonna have to roll to wake him up.
While he's rolling,
just a 20 or
Yeah, just roll. Yeah.
Yes. 1d20. Unless we specify otherwise, when we ask you to roll it, it will be 1d20 plus whatever skill that we ask you for.
I don't know what skill that would be. The waking up old man skill.
Probably just shake him, maybe a strength.
Strength check.
Like,
strength check.
I rolled a nat 18, so.
All right. And Sean's kind of weak, so.
He startles awake. Oh. Hello, young man. Would you like a biscuit? And he offers you a tray of small ginger snap cookies.
Thank you.
Tell us more about the blue-skinned man.
Oh, he was shiny. What? Oh, having rolled an 18, he no longer wishes to speak about the blue-skinned man.
I just have one more question. I understand that the fees may be climbing and certain people may be struggling to keep up with them. But are you not worried that if he's not protecting you, the village would be in danger?
The old man regards you. Well, of course. That's why I'm still paying my fees. And generally, people need my goods, so I'm not worried about my business.
How do you feel about the other businesses that are hiring people to get rid of them?
There are businesses hiring people to get rid of the blue-skinned man?
Or the people that they hired to do it?
That's us.
He furrows his brow. Well, I don't think it's a very good idea.
Why would they want us to?
You're the first one to express that opinion.
Well, I've been here quite a bit longer than any of the other business owners here, so I can't imagine that they would understand the politics behind this situation. Perhaps they're more concerned about their business than they are the welfare of this county.
I would like to ask a question, and I think it may require persuasion, but is there any sort of respectful or formal greeting we should know for the Blue Man? Should we ever run across his path?
Great question.
The old man thinks for a moment. Well, none of us have ever spoken to him in person. He tends to leave notes for us. They are written in a certain dialect, so I know that it is definitely the blue-skinned man who leaves the notes. But the fees have been climbing because he knows that our village is prospering. And because our village is growing, I'm sure it attracts more than more than the usual rabble when I was a boy. So
What's the dialect that the notes are written in?
Well,
oh, I'm sure it's one that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
The,
It's
the old man. The old man. The old man. The old man thinks to himself, well, they're runes that I've only seen in some very old tomes when my uncle was studying magic.
Do you have any of these notes?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes, I do.
May we have one to show that,
or
we're not just random people that are, should we ever happen to run into him, that, we can show that we are aware of our situation.
No, I'm afraid since you are outsiders, I'm not going to give you any of these notes.
Okay. Can I at least read one?
Do any of you have diplomacy?
Yes.
Okay, roll diplomacy.
I also have intimidation, but
okay.
But this doesn't seem like the time for that.
Roll for diplomacy.
My diploma. Ah, damn! I only rolled a 4. So 14.
No, I don't think so. Sorry, my boy. May I offer you a biscuit? He holds out the tray of ginger snaps.
Now I kind of want to intimidate him.
Hang on just a second
since he
before you do
wasn't
anything.
receptive to my right.
Other
Make any decisions yet.
others of you are more than welcome to also try to pry information out of him. Perhaps
My character's changed. Give me a second.
he pours himself a drink.
Yeah, I guess I would like to switch to his generally good goods. Along with this flour here, do you have salt by any chance?
Well, of course I have salt. How much do you need?
What would it cost to get a half pound of each?
Half pound of salt? What the hell are you making?
A very, very large stew. The flour's for the roux.
Oh. He slams a sack of salt and a sack of flour on the counter. Is there anything else that you're looking for, my boy?
Yes, perchance, would you happen to have just common glass marbles?
Glass marbles. He ponders. I might have to go look for those. I seem to have lost them. He gets up from his rocking chair and scuttles off into another room.
Well, while he's off in another room, I'd like to just make a search check to see if there's anything resembling paper with funny runes
notes?
on it.
Any notes?
I roll an 18.
I also wanted to look as soon as he left. I'm like, oh man, this is our chance.
There does not appear to be any sort of paper or parchment in the room other than what the store is selling.
Okay, I cease my search there.
Really quickly, my racial trait / class features, are those just basically spells that I can just cast?
Those are things that you pretty much just have innately.
Those are just active. Those are always active.
Yeah.
Some of them you might have to use an action to actually do the thing.
Yeah,
if you can just
I have one
natively...
that's obviously a toggle type thing then at least. But
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an at-will thing. It costs no time. You can do it at any point. It is a bonus action.
Excellent. How would that...
It works pretty much the same as feats.
What are you looking at?
Like, if I was gonna like intimidate him, but like let's say hypothetically I use storm voice to like super intimidate him, like how would that actually affect the interaction?
So
that would be a DM decision.
Storm voice. That's not quite the way storm voice works.
The description here, it just it makes it sound like it's
the way storm voice works is it just allows you and like your voice to be magically present like over the sound of like thunder and things like that. So if we're in a
the
loud
way this
setting,
reads, it makes it sound like my voice could be you know, you get what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, that's the way it reads.
Yeah, no, it's
only
a lot of a lot of your storm druid style things are like only active during storms.
The notes. Maybe I roll better.
Well, if we want to go to intimidate, like I can.
Oh wait, you haven't done that yet. Yeah. Let me roll for diplomacy once he gets back.
Because like. Okay. My diplomacy's not quite as high as my intimidate is. So like a lot of times if I can't get the things I want being nice, I can get them by flipping the switch.
Let me give it a go before you
Well then, Alhazard, are you doing anything else while he's away? I'm ending my pursuit.
He returns to the room and places a bag, a small cloth bag on the table, and it sounds like it might be filled with small glass items.
Neat.
All right, I found these marbles.
Most excellent, my good sir. What do I owe you?
How about 1 gold piece?
Sounds fair. Take 2 for your trouble. I appreciate your time.
Oh, how very kind of you.
Sir, before we leave, I do want to insist one last time, if I could trouble you to let me see one of the notes you have. I don't think the other businesses have the best intentions, and I feel that if I could better understand the situation, it might benefit the town. It might be in your best interest to let me look at it.
Roll for diplomacy. He rolled an 18. So that's a
me, dude.
That's a no. I know. This is like these are the best
this
rolls.
Guy sucks until he doesn't.
Now you listen here, old man. You go get us one of those. You go get us one of those fucking notes. Right the fuck now.
Roll for intimidate.
28.
Wow. It shakes him to the very core. He begins crying. And he leaves the room. His sobs turning into wails as he's frightened for his life.
I didn't know chaotic asshole was an alignment.
He's wailing and weeping in the other room, and you hear shuffling and the sounds of boxes being moved. And he returns to the room with a box filled with notes, some of them very old, stained with time. All of the notes written on some sort of skin and engraved into the skin, burnished into the skin with what appears to be some sort of flame tool. The notes. Okay, who wants to try to read them? The old man leaves the room. The old man leaves the room and closes the door, and you hear it lock behind him, and his wails continue until they don't. And you suspect that he has left the shop.
And then you hear a single bang.
Just
Um,
yeah, you
I
hear a
just
door.
suspect he may have cried himself to sleep.
I wouldn't.
You made him cry himself unconscious.
Like that's fine. I got what I needed. Let's start looking at those notes.
Let me have a look at
Okay,
this.
does any?
There's plenty of notes. Like, we can just all take one and start looking.
Okay, I need all of you to roll. Like, what languages do you
it's
know?
Just language. I'm assuming that the notes are primarily in Draconic.
Do you know Draconic?
I do.
I do as well.
Okay.
I
don't think Sean does, but
I have read.
Read magic.
Spells, yeah.
Read magic and read anything are different.
Yeah, these notes are not magic.
Read.
They're just notes.
You may have like a
read
true language.
anything.
You may have like a true language spell.
That's what I thought I have. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. I feel like that's what I.
But yeah, are they in Draconic?
Those of us who know Draconic,
those of us who know it, like,
are we able to read this?
Here's the thing: can you read Draconic?
Yes. If you know a language, you can both read and write.
That's not true. That's not true.
Unless you're illiterate. The only exception
orcs,
is barbarians.
Orcs cannot
Orcs
read.
Are illiterate.
Well, none of us are orcs.
Yes, but did any of you take like a? Is there a read skill? Did any of you take that?
What? It's in the language descriptor in skills. When you take a new language, unless you're illiterate, you can read, write, and speak.
Okay. Well, that's not how language works. As a language teacher, I'm going to say that is not how language works.
You're correct, but like in a more just like gameplay friendly aspect.
I don't like it, but okay. Yes, it is Draconic. As a language teacher, I can say this is not how learning a language works. But okay, D&D.
Oh, plus one skill. I know everything about it now.
No, that's not. It's not. I can read 0 Chinese, and I can speak. I can speak a few phrases, and I can read 0 of it. It's not how language works.
Cannot read these scrolls. However, I would like to cast detect magic on them before they read them.
Okay. Okay. Roll. For
well, it's a spell. He'd just be able to see it.
Oh, yeah. There's you detect that there was magic used to make these, but they are not inherently magical.
Can I sense anything of note about the magic?
Other
than what you said, any other information?
You can not. No, you can tell that you can tell that there was magic used to write the words, but the words are not magical, and the notes, and the parchment, the skins that they were written upon are also not magical.
Can I tell what kind of magic was used to write it?
I want you to roll wisdom for that.
I think that would be knowledge arcana.
Would it be knowledge arcana? Okay. Do you have knowledge arcana?
I don't know what I did, but I just fucked everything up and I lost all of my... Fuck. Hang on. Everything opened an edge because for some reason the link bed set me... My computer has to open it.
Oh yeah, it was...
Yeah, and then
it's weird.
Oh.
And because your computer is a
Edge. No.
It's just a PDF. It's just like if you don't have a PDF reader installed.
Yeah,
and then I just fucked up.
That was my problem. That was my problem too. I had to download Adobe. Oh, also, Sean, we can hear your fan.
So hot in my room. I'm sorry.
That room is pretty fucking hot. I would double check and make sure that the heat isn't turned on downstairs.
It's not.
Okay, but like, hear me out. It was 101 today in Vegas,
so. That.
Aren't there 2 air conditioning units? Why don't we put one in Sean's room?
I have my own.
fair.
because it's a sideways one, so I feel like a wood plank because it's a tall window, and I don't want to deal with that.
That's
right
fair.
now.
Okay. Alrighty. So yes, there. Do you have knowledge arcana? I could probably check. I don't have anybody's character sheets pulled up.
Okay. So you said, what was the
No,
roll that I put?
knowledge arcana. It would be in your skills. Scrolling through Sean's skills. I don't see any skills on here. Does he have no skills?
I do not have knowledge arcana.
Oh, there are your skills.
Well, he's got skills.
I found it. It hadn't finished loading. Okay. You don't know. You have no idea what kind of magic was used to write this note. You don't know what it.
Our kind druid happen to have knowledge nature and can identify what sort of hide this is made of.
I do, in fact, have knowledge nature.
Okay, cool. Roll knowledge nature. It would just be a D20 plus 9, I guess.
Yeah, his knowledge nature is pretty okay.
Yeah.
You know the fuck out of nature.
It's
See that plant? He probably knows it.
21.
Wow. Yeah. You notice that these notes are written on parchment made from various types of hide. Everything from deer to kobold. A few of them are human. It looks like they were written on whatever was available to the writer at the time.
If you're looking for a spell written on a scroll in human parchment, is that technically hide and seek?
How do I mute Mike?
How do I delete someone else's post?
How do I delete someone else's comment? Where's the downvote button? Yes, I guess it would be. Okay, so everybody else is reading these notes, or by everybody else, I mean Evo and Pincushion are now reading the notes. The notes simply state that a certain group of bandits was taken care of, group of kobolds. Genocide was committed against like a goblin village that had suddenly sprung up on this side of the village or this side of the county. It seems to be reports from the writer on what was taken care of, and
Invoices.
Yeah,
What?
say like, are they bills? Are they
So,
invoices?
they're
I took care of this. You owe me this much money now.
They are basically invoices, and you notice they are dated. Like the writer was nice enough to date specifically when it was taken care of, where it was taken care of, how many enemies were taken care of, and as time goes on, you notice that it increased the amount of slaughter that has taken place, or precautions that have been gone up, or wards that have been put into place have increased, and the amount of payment over time has also increased.
So these are all dated, you said, correct?
They are dated. They're dated, like
Are they evenly spaced?
They're not evenly spaced. So it's
So it's
like
probably
these
any time he takes care of something, he leaves one. Like, what's the time gap between like the first invoice that we have and the most recent? Like,
It's been about
long?
60 years.
Jesus Christ.
Is there any trends in frequency in terms of the notes getting more of them closer together or further apart? Like the closer to now we get, if I explain that well enough.
As time goes on, the invoices grow. It seems like it had grown in frequency for a time, and then the writer of the notes just sort of left an invoice once every month. Probably for his own convenience.
Is there anything written in the memo field?
I hope. Yeah. Yes. I hope your grandchildren are doing okay. Thank you for the ginger snaps.
I think we need to beat up the old lady, frankly.
All right.
That was an out of character comment, to be clear.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity.
I don't really see any reason to take these notes with us now that like we have the information we need. I'm just going to leave them here, honestly.
You don't think they'd give us any kind of diplomatic or like negotiable leverage with the brothel owner, just to verify that we do have knowledge that she might think we don't?
Maybe keep one of them, but I don't think we need to keep them all.
I think at least one. Just, you never know.
Yeah.
Or even just in case maybe when we're talking to him, having it with us might help for some reason.
Sure.
Maybe
just take the most recent invoice with us and leave the rest.
So how high is everyone's wisdom?
Mine's decent.
Pretty high.
Okay, why don't all of you roll like a wisdom check?
Okay.
Okay.
Roll 6 garbage.
I got 18.
Garbage.
8.
Okay.
9.
Okay. All right, Sean, I'm going to send you a message. Oh,
Oh boy.
Apparently Mike sent me a message earlier saying that he's stupid drunk drinking absinthe. That explains why you haven't been participating as much as you generally do. Okay.
Makes sense.
I'm also blasted as shit.
Oh wow, I thought that was just in the common chat too. Because at the top it says Zoom group chat, and then I see where it says I sent a private message to you. Privately. Zoom is great.
Zoom.
Make your heart go boom, boom, boom.
Public musage?
What?
What's a public musage?
Mucilage.
Ben.
I'm gonna take this whole box with me. I feel like I might want these later.
Alright.
Okay.
That's fine.
Do I like a bag? Like, can I fit these in my bag reliably? Do I have to carry the fucking box?
You'd have a backpack.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
a
I'm just gonna
really-
put them all in my backpack.
A pretty
This-
basic backpack.
This box has so many invoices in them. It would probably
Alright,
be
I'll take the box.
it would probably be better. It'd probably be better to like maybe roll them up in some sort of like something and put them back into your bag than to take this. It's a big wooden crate. Like it has 60 years
Okay.
of invoices in it.
But I'm just gonna
That's
take...
kind of why I didn't want to take it with
I'm
us.
just gonna take a cloth or some shit from the fucking store we're in to like roll them in. Or,
You're
like,
just
a
gonna
smaller,
steal-
condensable box.
You're gonna
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fucking fix this guy's problems. He can deal with it.
You made him cry.
That wasn't me.
There doesn't seem to like this old man doesn't seem to this old man doesn't seem to have had any problems until the pincushion showed up.
This old man is a victim of circumstance, but he's gonna come out for the better in the end. He'll live.
Okay. Okay. So all right.
If Sean feels really bad about potentially stealing, like you just leave a few gold on the counter.
You could leave some
No, I
gold
don't
on
give
the
a shit.
what's your alignment?
Chaotic neutral.
Okay.
It's
Okay, fine. You don't give a you don't.
No, I'm not one of those guys.
You
I
don't
promise. There's a
seem.
reason for it.
You don't seem to give a shit that you're stealing a bolt of cloth to wrap these invoices in, and then you stuff them in your bag. You don't see. Okay, that's fine. No
After
guilt.
all, who could blame you for your kleptomania?
After this old man offered you delicious ginger snaps.
Listen, he was being very uncooperative.
He was doing his best.
Listen, he could have done better.
He rolled high a lot of times and rolled very low in the beginning. He would have given you, if his rolls were better, he would have given you 0 information.
Is there still a platter on the counter with ginger snaps?
Yes.
I would like to take one.
Okay.
Me too. Can I take the platter? I just want to take the whole platter. I'm hungry.
Of ginger
IRL,
snaps
so
or
I
just
want
the
a
platter?
Are you- Okay, clarification.
Cookies.
Okay.
Just the cookies.
Okay. Yeah, Mike takes
I eat all of
one.
them.
Okay. They are so good. There
I'm
was
not eating it. I'm just taking it.
no, but Sean's eating
Sean's
all
eating
of them. They are delicious. Roll fortitude.
You just stuff them all in your face all at once. You can't help yourself.
I assume he just shoved all of them in his face. Roll fortitude, Sean.
Oh.
8.
They are so delicious that you begin weeping with just how much flavor and how much time and love the generations of masterful baking that just went into this dish of cookies.
You're trying to make us feel bad for making the old man cry, and it's not going to work.
It's making me feel bad because I'm hungry IRL and I wanted to RP that I was eating, but you're just reminding me of how hungry I am IRL. It took all of the fun out of eating the cookies in game, and I regret the decision.
Good. You should. That's why. That's why you're.
Not 'cause I feel bad.
That's why you're weeping.
Because I'm hungry.
You're weeping because of how good these fucking ginger snaps are. Okay. All right. So
we
now
got what we need here.
You've got-
I think the last place we need to stop is the inn.
Okay. Okay. So pin cushions on his way. Boop 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 doo 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 to the inn. What's everybody else doing? Sean. Okay. Kel is following. Pop. And Mike?
I am following.
Okay. Okay. Following. There we go. So you're all at the inn.
I am on top of the inn.
You're in the inn.
Sounds like maybe you should raise the roof.
Whoa. I don't think we need to do that because you're just a little guy. Okay, so you're standing outside of the inn. What's
I go in.
Go in. Okay.
I also go in the
Oh,
inn.
excellent.
I admire the wood.
So Mike is outside admiring the wood, and so there are
I
people.
roll to identify the wood.
Okay, excellent. What do you roll? There are a variety of people inside of the inn, drinking. There's an old man in the corner who's talking to no one, regaling tales of his youth, talking about his adventuring days. There's a chugging contest off in the corner. This appears to be where people hang out.
Lively place. Seems good. I I assume the owner is present behind the bar.
He's wiping it down. It appears to be the bartender from before.
The bartender from before, the
one from the brothel.
Works at the brothel.
Yeah, he appears to be. He glares at you and wipes down the counter, pouring mugs of ale. He seems very tired.
Do you own this place?
Regale me with your tales.
Yes, yes, I do. This is my business. This is where I live. Thank you.
But you also work for the madam.
I was covering a shift. Their bartender, their bartender seemed to. We can't find him. He's missing.
Oh.
Excellent. All right, so Mike, are you still trying to figure out what kind of wood the tavern is, the inn is made out of?
Nah, apparently it's hard. I walked in.
Okay.
It's a hardwood.
It's hard. Probably made from the trees that are nearby. There are some forests nearby. It's probably made out of that shit.
Right, whatever's over there. Well, shit, that's a buzzkill. I was just kind of like hoping there would be someone else that we could talk to that we like haven't already. That's unfortunate. All right, well,
I'm surprised, Ben. You don't usually go for the role-playing aspect of D&D.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're as prepared as possible.
Are you sure you don't want to talk to him with some of the knowledge you might now have that you didn't have before?
I do, but like I'm trying to. At this point, like I'm trying to collect my thoughts and.
Well, what do you remember saying to him last time? Last time you were just asking him, "Oh, what can you do?"
Last time we were just talking like about the combat stuff. Like we haven't talked about any of the business side of things because like I didn't think it was important with him. I'm still not sure how important it is to talk to him like regarding his whole philosophy on the business aspect of things because obviously it's on the madam's side with that.
Yeah, but maybe he could give us insight into why he's not worried.
What the fuck is this supposed to even mean, Mike? I don't even understand. Communicates in hand puppets in a condescending manner if his diplomacy is low.
He's trying to ask the innkeeper who he kind of like shoved off and pissed off before. So, I was gonna say if you make him roll diplomacy to see if he wants to talk with him again.
Okay. Roll diplomacy, Mike. I know. I'll hazard the pincushion. Roll diplomacy. Do you want to talk to this guy, or do you want to fuck off somewhere else? Maybe sit down and.
We definitely need to talk to him. So I'm gonna pull up to the bar and order a drink and
money up front.
I'll put gold on the counter.
Oh, thank you. Here's your drink. He sets it down really hard. It sloshes. A few drops roll down the side. He seems somewhat irritated to see the three of you in his inn. He had hoped that you'd gone off. He hoped that you'd gone off and already died because he wasn't intending on going with you.
That's fine. I'm fine. I'm perfect. I'm honestly perfectly fine leaving him behind.
Good, because I didn't make a sprite for him for the map because I forgot about it.
Um.
So Kel and Eva, what are you doing? Alhazard is drowning in ale. What are the two of you doing? Are you just kind of standing there in the entryway awkwardly?
I'm sitting at the bar with him. I just have not ordered a drink.
The bartender looks at you expectantly, raising his eyebrows. And what would you like? Would you like some stew?
Better order something.
Would you like some ale? Otherwise, you need to. If you're not
You need to fuck off.
If you're not here to eat or drink, you need to fuck off.
I don't want anything, but I do put 10 gold on the counter.
Jesus, for what? Holy, all right.
His
trying
demeanor.
to butter him up already. Holy
his
fuck.
his
Here, buy
demeanor.
yourself 10 peasants.
His demeanor changes slightly at the 10 gold, and he grumbles a bit. He's all right. Would you like some water? Maybe some ginger.
No, thank you.
Maybe some ginger snaps.
I am fine.
Actually, ginger snap sounds amazing.
I'm so hungry. I'm
Mike, what is your character doing?
I sit at the bar and order an ale.
Money up front.
Of course. And I distance myself at least one seat from the other two.
Excellent. Thank you for all of this money. Would you also care for a bowl of stew?
Your finest, please.
He pulls out a very well-crafted bowl and puts the same stew in it that he's been serving everyone else in less finely crafted bowls. And then hands it to you.
Excellent. I enjoy it.
You do enjoy it. It's very good stew. The peasants in this village wouldn't have gotten fat off of anything other than the very finest of stews.
So I'm curious, this problem. Are you not afraid that if it goes away, the village might be in danger from other threats without the protection?
The bartender bows his head a bit and thinks, and then regards the three of you again and thinks and says, I'm not picking up what you're putting down there, son.
Let's say the blue-skinned man leaves town. What's to stop the say kobolds from coming back?
Kobolds? There have never been any kobolds here in this town.
There sure has. How long have you been in town? Like, how long have you actually lived here?
The bartender appears to be in his mid-30s.
But so raised here.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Okay.
I inherited this inn from my father, and his father built this inn.
You understand the blue-skinned man is what keeps the goblins and kobolds away from the town, and that's why you're paying him, right?
I assumed that we were paying him so that he wouldn't eat everybody in this town. I'm not aware of any goblin or kobold problem.
Seems like the deal might have been struck before you were born.
Yeah, it's not something we've learned that you would have been around for. The blue-skinned man has lived in the area for quite a long time.
I assume by the blue-skinned man you mean the scaly problem that we're trying to get taken care of. He seems a bit confused by the terminology, but and also seems confused as to the circumstances. Pincushion, roll a wisdom check. And also Kel and Evo, roll wisdom.
I got a 20. Yay.
Okay. And Evo and Kel.
Has rolled a 5.
Okay, Evo, you've got no idea what's going on. You assume that this man is probably lying.
You got a 21.
Okay. Okay. So Pincushion and Kel both realize that this bartender has no idea who the blue-skinned man is not aware that he has been protecting the county from incoming threats, and has assumed for his entire for the length of his ownership of this inn, which has probably been about 10 years, that he has been paying off a dragon, and not paying off a dragon to prevent the dragon from eating everybody and killing everybody, because that's what dragons do, and not, in fact, paying for a service.
Basically paying protection money.
Yeah, he's not aware.
It's a racket.
He's not aware. You realize that he is not aware of the situation.
I suggest it might be worth our time to explain it to him. To the other two in the party.
So this is what, we've been doing some talking around town. This is what we've learned. We just kind of, roughly go over the information that we've gathered basically from the general goods guy just now.
Oh. Grandpa Good.
Yeah,
who is generally good. Good.
Yeah.
Great guy. Been here a long time. He's
yeah, he's a real great guy. Love him to death. He's a trooper, for sure.
He usually comes in about this time. I haven't seen him in here yet. Brings in a big old tray of ginger snaps for me and my patrons. It's unusual that he wouldn't be here now.
He did seem a little busy at the shop when we were in earlier. Maybe he'll be by later.
The bartender believes you. He doesn't trust you, but he believes you because he knows that businesses sometimes get busy.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of break it down with him, kind of like, do you still want us to take care of the problem?
What exactly did you break down with him? Like, how are you telling him?
The entire situation with, so kind of go over with him, kind of like the history of like the last almost 60 years, since it came into town, and kind of explain because I assumed that he's been getting invoices as well, basically, and so he knows that it's something that's happening, and we can kind of explain it's been happening for so long.
He is not sure what you mean by receiving invoices.
It's possible that they all go to the grandpa.
They just all go
pay
to
through him or something. Yeah.
Okay.
We give all of our protection money to Grandpa Good.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he's been he's been routing all of our money to the scaly fiend for as long as I've known. I've only known about this situation for the last 10 years that I have been running this tavern. So he has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
He's not following very well. He doesn't understand what you're implying.
That's fine. Let me ask a more direct question then. Are you prepared if what we are saying is true, if we go deal with this, are you prepared for just like an influx of problems into the town? Like, I know you haven't experienced this problem so far, but like, are you prepared for a kobold invasion? Are you prepared for any sort of these things that, we're now telling you that you've been paying protection for? Are you capable of dealing with these on your own?
He considers. He pours himself a drink. Downs it. Like a pro. Like a deep-throating professional. He just opens up his fucking throat. It all goes down in one drink. Reaches under the bar and pulls out his monster manual. Flips through the pages, and he said, "I don't."
Finds dragons.
Yeah, finds the page with the blue dragon on it. Reads through the stats.
And says, "Nope, absolutely."
Flips back to the kobold page, and then to a goblin page, and he's just sits down and like looks at his fingers like he's counting, just counting for a minute, ponders,
3,
strokes his mustache, pours himself another ale, sips this one, just takes a few sips, furrows his brow. And then he levels a gaze towards Pincushion. Now, if my math is correct, which it might not be, I do not have a very thorough education.
Now I'm no mathematologist.
I'm no mathologist. Mathematicologist.
mathematician.
I'm by no means a well-educated man, but if these numbers are right, I would say that our scaly friend is quite a bit more dangerous than a handful of kobolds.
I'd say you're correct.
And if I'm to understand what you're saying, and he flips back to the blue dragon page. If I'm to understand what you're saying, how can we say that this friend of ours hasn't in fact been garnering money from us through extortion rather than actually fixing a problem? Because between the two of us, this particular sort of friend tends to be of an alignment to do such a thing. So who's to say that this friend of ours hasn't been prospering off of this community through extortion rather than through protection?
Oh, I guarantee it. It almost certainly has. But that doesn't change the fact, if that problem goes away, you will have many, many other problems. Is it better to pay for the one problem? or fight for your life cost.
He
The real question is who could fight for your town. You're all fat as shit.
That's a very good point. Like, you have no we've looked, like, there's no town guard. There's literally no one that can fight in this town. You rely solely on this dragon for your survival. Like, I slipped with my words, but
he thinks for a moment. He opens his throat and chugs his second tankard of ale. Do you really think I should be the one making this decision?
we're gathering the opinion of all the business owners.
You're part of the people who made the decision otherwise, aren't you?
I didn't make this decision. I've just been paying for it.
So far, with who we've talked to, everyone's been of the opinion that needs to be dealt with. It wasn't until we talked to Grandpa Goodgood that we learned more, and which is now why we're bringing this to you, because we don't think that you knew about it. And
here are my thoughts. We've got a garrison. Sure, it's not here in town right now, but we certainly do have one. They're also being paid for their time and their training. And what the hell are we paying them for? Why do we have an employed militia if they're not doing anything for us? And we have been
get rid of it and give that money to the dragon.
or take the money that you're spending on the dragon and hire more militia. Hire and train more, there's that direction as well, which is a completely respectable stance, wanting to protect one's own countryside.
For the amount that
Or kill the militia and the dragon and take all of the money.
We're working our way that direction. Don't jump the gun.
The bartender takes away Evo's tankard of mead, of ale. Sir, why don't you go have a seat over by the fire? I think you've had enough. You've had enough for the evening.
But the alcohol's warmer over here.
The bartender considers again. And then responds, I feel that this town would be more protected under its own guard. And I would be more at ease if there weren't a large, scaly, evil fiend looming over us. Then, it would certainly be a lot less expensive to just hire more guards. And our young boys here with all of their swords and nothing to do with them could certainly use the exercise.
Excellent. All right.
Personally,
The strength of one's arm should always be superior.
as a man,
I respect your position as a man.
as a man who used to be an adventurer himself, I would prefer to be defending my village rather than having it defended for me. But now, as a business owner, I can no longer be part of that defense.
Okay.
But that is my take on all of this, if I am to understand the situation in its entirety.
Okay. Awesome. I think that's all of the big businesses then in town that we've spoken to. I would like to talk to the madam again.
Okay.
I bet you
also
would.
go with him to do that.
Okay. So everybody wants to go back to the brothel?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so you are back at the brothel. And I'm going to change my screen share. And there we go. We are back at the brothel. Okay, so the madam appears to be at the brothel. She is having a drink. There are a few other ladies downstairs with her. They eye you expectantly and puff out their chests and suck in their stomachs and sit on the edges of their seats, posing themselves seductively.
I give no acknowledgement to them. I march straight up to the madam.
Would you like a nice egg in this trying time?
Okay, can you all see okay? The map and everything?
Kinda.
Kinda?
It's, I'm also seeing all of your OBS.
That's fine.
But, yeah.
That's fine. It's easier than putting it in the in GIMP right now because I already have the scene saved. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so the madam is having a drink. There is a bard in the corner playing music to entertain the ladies.
Yeah.
There are a few patrons. Some of them finishing up, coming downstairs with a disheveled-looking young woman, and then some other patrons ascending the stairs with their ladies of choice.
Thanks. But yeah, I just I marched straight up to the madam there, and we need to talk.
Very well. What would you care to talk about?
Need to further discuss the blue skin man.
She looks at you in surprise. I have not. There are very few who know our problem by this name, but I would be happy to discuss with you if you wouldn't mind stepping aside from our clientele with me into the kitchen.
Absolutely. Let us speak privately.
And Evo and Kel, are you also going to the kitchen to speak privately with the madam?
Yes.
Yes. I am following.
Okay. Okay. So she closes the door and has a seat at the stool next to one of the preparation tables, and gestures
Which
that
preparation table is it?
I don't know, this one.
Is it C?
Well, yeah.
It's this one. She's at this one. Is that yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She She sits down at the one that's sort of like the floating island in the middle of the kitchen, with her back towards the wall and gestures that you speak.
You've been in this town long enough to understand, at least from what our understanding is. We've been speaking to some of the townsfolk. You've been around long enough to understand why the blue-skinned man does what he does, yet you still want him to stop.
Are you talking about the invoices that Jonathan receives from him?
Yeah.
I have a feeling,
but like,
I feel as though those invoices are padded. There's no way that we could be constantly under siege by so many creatures. And frankly, my little business here can't afford to keep up with it any longer.
That may be true, but can you afford to be wrong?
We have a garrison. I'm sure that if I'm wrong, the garrison can take care of it.
How far away is the garrison?
The local lord lives about 10 miles outside of the city in his manor house. The garrison trains nearby. The barracks are on his property.
10 miles is an awfully long way on, even on horseback, and even longer if those individuals are armored.
What could a few goblins do? What could a few goblins do to this town that we couldn't take care of by the time the garrison arrived? I'm sure if we got rid of our little problem, we could have some armored men here in town. There are plenty of places for them to stay. Hell, with the amount of money that we're paying our blue friend, we could build a barracks in town. And provide a horse for every armed man defending it as well.
Do you think that if the problem was such a small one, that the people who made this deal originally would have done it in the first place? I mean, they had to have had a garrison too, right?
We did not have a garrison at the time. We had a handful of armed adventurers.
It would have been a much smaller town. At the 60, 70 years ago.
There might have been 50 to 60 people that lived in this county. And this village was not so much a village as it wasn't a town so much as I think it was just the general goods store and this brothel in the middle of nowhere at a crossroads.
Have you tried just breaking the deal off?
Would you just go up?
Just break a deal with a dragon?
Like
just casually is like...
You could just send someone.
Dragon sends you a bill, and you're just like, nah, I'm not gonna pay it. Like...
Who?
Like, what happens when you don't pay your mafia protection?
You pay the invoice, and then you say, all right, please, we don't want to pay for your service anymore. You pay off your debt with it.
Listen, the mafia does not give you the option to opt out of paying protection.
I'm just saying, if you're going to send someone to slay him, it doesn't hurt to try asking first.
You're more than welcome to speak on our behalf, but there is no one in their right mind who would just march their way up to our scaly problem and say, "Oh, by the way, we're not going to pay you anymore."
What if we like marched up to him threateningly and then said that?
That threateningly?
Mike.
Sorry, Sean, that was supposed to be towards Mike.
I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to discern from that?
Just rad.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand the context at all.
Just rad. Well, what does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, so...
Double rainbow.
Double rainbow. What of these fat villagers in their right mind would just march their way up to and then she leans forward and whispers, a D-R-A-G-O-N.
Oh my god,
we know what it is.
Who would do that? Who in their right mind? The only man that is willing to speak, that's willing to speak to him is Jonathan down at the general goods store, and the only one that would be brave enough to go is the innkeeper. But that man is a treasure, and our village needs him a lot more than we need to lose him.
That is true. That man is a treasure indeed. Like I just kind of wanted to hear her position, because like she, like, after the information we gathered, she was clearly old enough to know both the before and after, so I kind of wanted to hear her why.
And then
this is gonna sound weird, because you're making me feel bad for the general goods guy. I'm gonna give the madam 10 gold and say, go take care of Jonathan. He's not feeling too good right now. He'd like a hug.
She takes your gold suspiciously and says, well, this isn't quite enough for a hug, but I will go and console him, for he has long been my friend.
That's good enough. Like, I don't need you to, like, I don't need her to fuck him or anything. Like, just like go make sure he's not dead, because like he does talk to this dragon a lot, and like they might be friends. I don't want the dragon to potentially be mad at me if he dies. Like,
if I cast a spell earlier, can I cast it again, or is it just like a one and done for the day?
Once you cast that spell slot, it is expended for the day.
You have to
the whole slot.
You have to sleep. You have to sleep, and then you can have it back.
Yeah.
Can I just
give it back?
buy a bed at the end?
It has been buy a bed at the
we
inn, yes. But at the brothel, no. It is a busy.
Yeah,
it is a bit like when you purchased a bed for the evening. It was very late at night, and all of the other patrons had gone, and the rooms had been cleaned. But it is approaching evening now, and this place is hopping. There are one of the less attractive ladies of the evening is pouring drinks for everybody and tending to the fire. And there are quite a few patrons entering and exiting. Some of them after a great deal of time has passed, and some of them after only a few minutes.
Has anyone heard of Barry the Bratwurst?
So probably you can buy a bed at the inn, but you can't buy one at the brothel. So, but no, I have not heard of Barry the Bratwurst. Sorry. Is that a game? Is that a game that you play at a brothel, Mike? What does it mean?
Okay.
What does it mean?
Double rainbow, what does it mean?
Barry the bratwurst. Who is that?
my good friend, Barry.
Barry the bratwurst. Berry flavored brat? Okay. All right. Sorry. We've exhausted that joke. Let's move on.
This is ballooning out of control.
Whoa. Okay. So you guys are just hanging out. The madam excuses herself. I have some business I need to go take care of. And then she quietly leaves.
Oh yeah. I figured we like after I paid her, I figured we'd left and.
Oh, well, you did not.
Yeah, I didn't say it, but yeah, I was thinking that we had left. I was considering what our next move is.
Rest.
Okay.
I don't know, what time is it? Like, because like we've been up since like 7. We've talked to a bunch of people in town. Like,
it's pretty late. The sun.
Okay. Yeah. Like,
the sun is setting. It's pretty late. You've talked to a bunch of people in town. You see the madam leave the business and leave the brothel and head towards the general goods store, or rather probably the house next to the store. Because that's where Jonathan lives. Grandpa Good.
That's his official name.
Yeah. Grandpa Good. Okay, so
That's what it says on his character sheet.
yeah. Grandpa Good. That's what everyone calls him. It's probably what the dragon calls him now too. Who knows? Or maybe the ginger snap man.
Would it be appropriate to say that he's 3G compatible?
Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ho ho ho.
Laugh. Funny.
Oh, you're so funny. So funny. So you're outside. The sounds of the market are now dying down. There are quite a fewer people in town. You see one man in armor kind of mosey down the lane. He's not wearing his helmet. He's definitely not regulation. He's just wearing a pair of slippers instead of iron boots, and he appears to be he's fat and balding.
Is this mosey casual and natural, or is it like enthusiastic, like he's trying too hard to fit in?
No, he's just casual. He definitely is he's definitely part of the village. He's eating a sweet roll.
Let me guess.
Okay. You can guess.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude. He's eating a sweet roll. He's got his armor. It's not shiny. It's definitely it hasn't been well taken care of, but it's not battered. It's just a little it's a little rusty.
Well then, I suppose it's about time to turn in for the night then, huh?
Yeah,
Golly,
probably.
Sun's getting real low.
Probably. You hear thunder in the distance. The sky there are clouds lazily drifting across the sky, and they're making the sky darker than it is, and the sun is setting off in the horizon. Everybody's moving their farmers market stalls away from the road, because the road is I know on the map it looks like it's made of wood and this is a swamp town, but let's just imagine that's dirt. Probably.
You just have really wide feet, and those are footprints, just stacked over each other.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay. So what's everybody doing? Just kind of hanging out, outside of the brothel,
Yeah.
taking in the scene.
Yep.
Like before we retire, the three of us need to actually decide what we are going to do in the morning. Since we are basically done in town, we need to figure out where we're going next. Like, do we? Part of me,
It begins.
instead of
rain.
marching out to part of me, instead of marching out to the foothills immediately towards the dragon tomorrow, wants to head out to the Lord's Manor.
Yes, I would prefer that as well.
But that'll take so long.
You could go to the dragon ahead of us.
And it's wet. The travel's gonna be icky.
Yep.
You could go to the dragon ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you meet us there? Fucking.
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. I don't need you guys anyway.
You're right.
I am the band.
I would prefer if you didn't split the party.
Right.
Knowing
that's
that,
how people die.
No.
I disagree. Everything will be fine.
I have not prepared properly for a party split situation.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I guess. I'm going with the flow.
Well, what is the flow doing?
Falling, apparently. Let's get inside. I ain't following outside anymore. You rubes can get as wet as you want.
Oh, they're getting so wet.
Oh no.
Hey, have you guys been to the brothel recently?
Still just
I am
standing
going to
outside.
Go to the inn and retire for the night.
Okay. So are you just kind of walking? Do 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 do. Boop 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 boo. Or are you running?
Yeah, no, I'm just walking.
Okay.
My tiny ass is sprinting. These raindrops are huge.
Pretty fucking huge for you.
I appreciate the ambience of the rain, but can you keep it off? It's really fucking loud. That's way better.
I didn't do anything.
Really? Because it went from being blowing out my eardrums to actually ambient.
That's gotta be your headphones.
No, it's that is.
No, it's sound latency. Because we're talking, we're taking priority over the ambient sound. But if we all stop talking for long enough, the sound will come back full force.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so you're all
we need that to stop.
back in the tavern. Is everybody in the tavern now?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to turn off this town scene. Do 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 do. Okay, you're in the tavern. The bartender is still going about his business. It's there are quite a few people in the tavern. It's pretty crowded. This seems to be the main hub where everybody who doesn't want a lady for the evening. This seems to be where everybody goes for a nice drink and
everyone else who this is the classy bar.
This is where they
Lady for the week.
This is where you go with your lady for the week. Okay, do you want to pay for a shared room? Do you want to what do you want to do?
I get my own room.
Okay.
I promise I'll take off my armor.
Okay, the bartender checks his registry really quick. He said, I only have 5 rooms upstairs, and only 2 of them are available.
Oh, I'm going to need both of them. I'm a heavy sleeper. You don't understand.
5 gold each.
I put 20 gold on the table and ask him what my room number is.
3.
He hands you a key, and he says it's room number 4.
Thank you. I'll walk off to my room.
I'll place 6 gold on the table and ask him what room I'm getting.
No, that's my room.
He looks at Pincushion expectantly, waiting for him to show up the gnome.
What? I'll show up the gnome, but like I'm gonna like I'm gonna try and scare the gnome off of like bidding against me again.
Very well. Roll a will save, Mike. And Ben, roll intimidation.
Versus my intimidate.
Yeah, both of you roll.
The
bartender pours himself a drink and watches.
Here's my roll.
Okay,
damn it. I got a 22.
Oh man!
Oh, that was really close. It was really close.
Wait, let me double check my number.
No.
I rolled a 9. I rolled a 9. Let me just double check my modifier.
22.
Plus 13. Yeah, 22.
22. Okay. The gnome.
Before
have
getting
it
all the
say
way
will
upstairs
save.
to my room, come back down and tell the bartender to sell their room to Pincushion.
The bartender doesn't care about your opinion.
I would hope that I paid him enough to sway his opinion a little.
The bartender says, "That's fair." But he takes Evo's money anyways and offers him a bedroll and gestures towards the stables.
Okay, well then I suppose it's Pincushion's time to make a will save.
Is that so? Are we fighting now? Is that what's happening?
No, he didn't say roll
It's not
initiative.
necessarily- Yeah, not initiative. I think he needs to make a will save.
Will save.
Just a will save. Like, are you finger wiggling at me? Do I see this?
No, you don't.
Finger wiggling.
Finger wiggling.
Holy shit.
No, he can do magic without wiggling. He doesn't need to finger you for his magic.
Right. For like still spell and stuff.
Yeah.
Still spell's like, isn't that like 2 spell slots higher though?
No, it's a feat.
Yeah, but like, don't you have to prepare it at +2 spell slots? It's like,
I didn't think so.
like, I know with all of the meta magic spells, you have to like they have like a plus whatever spell slot.
Oh yeah, it uses 1 spell slot
Okay, one spell
higher
slot
than
higher.
its level. Still completely within my bounds.
Yeah. I just just making sure. I'm like, I thought it was +2 for still, but it's I'm thinking silence a lot harder. Do you have a semantic component? Because like I probably hear you casting something. Like I probably hear you muttering whatever your mutterances are.
It's a loud tavern.
That's fair. I got a 17 on my will, so like it doesn't matter. But like one way or another, like 17, like whatever, like does it happen or not? Okay.
Okay.
That's funny. Like if we get into combat, I'll allow that for sure. Like I won't even roll against it. Like
Okay. Somehow Pincushion has swollen in size by a magnitude of 2. In his armor, he's swollen a little bit more than outside of his armor, and he is now very uncomfortable.
what? No, with enlarged person, your armor and equipment grows with you.
Yeah, well, he
Yeah,
didn't.
it does.
He didn't cast it quite right, so you're now uncomfortable in your armor.
Okay, well, what is this? Minutes per level? For enlarged person, or is it? It's got to be minutes per level. There's no way it's
I think
hours
it
per
is
level.
minutes.
Okay,
1 minute per level.
Okay,
you're yeah. This is you guys. You're in the tavern.
I wait a few. I wait a few minutes for the spell to wear off and go up to my room.
Okay.
You are discouraged by the feeling, though. Rue the day. Rue it.
You're not enjoying it. You don't feel right. You don't feel right. Gross.
Actually, before I go upstairs, I'm gonna talk to the bartender again and just let him know that we're gonna set out in the morning if he still wants to come with us, because I respect a man who values his strength of arms, so he is welcome to come and conquer with us.
The bartender considers and rummages around under his bar and says, I'm sorry, I can't seem to find my character sheet, so I'm going to decline for now.
Fair.
I'll decline for now. I don't seem to know what my stats are. Plus, I left my cleaver at the brothel.
That sounds suspicious as fuck.
Well, he was cooking there earlier.
What was he cooking?
He was making breakfast. You all ate it.
But who was
But it was
breakfast?
it was gruel. Like, it was basically like he served us oatmeal. Like, what did he need his cleaver for?
To break up the office.
If you recall, it was affixed to the wall, and it was very large.
It's more decorative than
It is.
anything.
Yeah, it's
I remember, but it was.
it's become a kitchen decoration at the brothel.
Is it hot glued up there?
It's only with the hottest of glues, for it is
Excellent.
a brothel.
For it is a 5-minute craft.
Well, yeah. So I had some encounters planned for this game
craft.
because I assumed Ben wanted a dungeon crawl, so.
It's a dungeon crawl. It's the greatest crawl of all.
Thank you, Finn. So I had a bunch of encounters planned for this session, but we don't have to do encounters. Ben wants to role play, which is super weird.
It's fine. It's fine. We were like, Sean and I were just talking about this. Is like, it's fine because like we can just like, now you have encounters ready for like when we actually go out and do stuff.
Yeah, and now you're ahead. So if you need like a week and you like didn't get to plan shit or whatever, like it's fine.
I've got so much shit planned now. I've been planning the last few days. Like the only reason I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do it yesterday is because I wanted more maps, and I wanted to make like sprites for you guys to like move you through this.
No, I think that's dope though. It's making it so much more fun, like that you're doing that. I really enjoy it.
And once I discovered like the soundboards for
Soundboard really cool. I will.
Yeah,
say.
I want to be real. I'm really fucking high, so like all of this like effort you're putting into universe building is going a long way for me. Like,
Well,
it's making the experience really cool.
excellent. And then Mike's been giving me some resources as well. He sent me like a random dungeon generator, which is great because I don't want to just use people's maps and not credit them for it. Even though these maps are really cool. And the tavern and the bedchamber, like those are that I used in the last session. Like they're just like stock photos. Or photographs of historical areas that are not credited, so because they're just like, yeah. So, because I'm trying not to use other people's stuff without their permission. So, but yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I wanted to put more work into the visual aspect to make it more fun over Zoom, because we can't really interact with each other more physically.
Right.
Can't really
Well,
look at each
it's
other.
like friends who do things together.
You is for you and me.
It's for uranium.
Bombs! N is for no survivors.
Well, I can tell you, I have not really been in a traditional D&D group like this before, so I don't necessarily have a lot of experience, but I can tell you that I'm having a great job, and I think that you are doing a great job.
Of course she's doing a great job.
Excellent, thank you.
And I appreciate that you're putting the extra work into it, because it's making it a lot more fun for me.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. This is I've never DM'd a game remotely. I've had people like Skype in, and it never really worked out. And I don't think I was the dungeon master for that. I don't like.
We were co-DMing before when Will was remoting in.
Oh right.
In one of our sessions. But yeah,
And then we did Brian remoting in for a little while.
I've done remote DMing twice before, and it's so hard for me to do, because like I have things, physical interaction and models and being around a table and a map and all that shit, and like doing it remotely, it's so much extra work for me that it's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think it's probably permanently disbanded our D&D group here locally because of quarantine.
Yeah.
Because I've just told straight up told them I'm not doing it. Man, I can tell you've resized my my model a few times. It's getting fuzzy.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it because I've been drinking so much?
Yes, I haven't resized
Okay,
it.
blurry.
It just looks that way.
Oh.
I was saying, I was thinking you were resizing it and like actually making him like realistically sized in relation to the other character models.
No, he.
So what does
he
that
is.
make you?
Like if
That makes
you
you like 8 feet tall.
My character's a little tall there, but like,
well, you have to keep in mind that half elves are not very tall.
they're more human
sized
sized than elf sized.
So here,
but like he's probably like 5'3", 5'4", 5'5" ish.
Yeah,
I'm 3'10".
Like I was picturing Ben's character, like knights tend to be pretty big dudes, so he's probably like 6'2" plus armor, and then like if you compare Mike's character, like I sized everybody accordingly. I took a great deal.
Yeah,
like I put a lot.
It actually looks pretty accurate to me.
So
actually,
no, it's just Ben was moved backwards to make him look
a little bit.
To make him, because if I bring you guys forward, you look really tiny next to the bar.
Hey, mister, I'd like one beer, please.
So yeah.
They come in pints.
But no, if I move you back here, like, yeah, Ben looks fucking huge, but that's because he's in the, like, it's forced perspective. So, I might actually
It really is crazy how the brain fucking does that, though.
Right?
Like,
God damn it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, no, you can move any one of them, and I could totally tell they're the same size, and then you like move them in front of the bar counter, and it's like, aww. From a Magic Mike?
Yeah. Just get a magic Mike. So yeah, no, I'm not changing any sizes. It's forced perspective.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that on purpose. I can't even claim. So when I was moving him around, I wasn't resizing him at all. That was just your brain glitching because of the perspectives and the angles.
The reason I had commented, I guess, is because like the model just looks so fuzzy. I think that's just because of the model.
It's because Ben and Sean, their character portraits were at a lower resolution, so their portraits are sharper because they're more pixelated. Yours was at a higher resolution, so when I scaled it down, it's still at a higher resolution than the other guys. Here, I can zoom in and show you.
No, I believe you.
I'm
maybe
gonna
not.
Go to bed.
Okay.
So I will talk to you guys
Okay.
later.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, Sean.
Good night, buddy.
Have a good night.
See you, Sean.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to hang up.
You need, you
Okay.
need to get a
Shame,
Miley
but-
Cyrus to swing from one
Here,
of those ball
there you go.
lamps at the top.
I hit stop share. Now you can hit leave meeting. There you go. He's got it.
You did it.
He
Yay.
did it.
I wanna swing from the chandelier, the chandelier.
Oh damn.
Oh, hey, Ben.
Yep.
Have you heard of Slay the Spire?
Yes.
It's a fucking great game.
It's all right.
Roar. Roar.
I am currently achievement hunting.
Dragon sounds.
I've got all but 5. And I'm currently working on my Ascension climb. I'm trying to get Ascension 10.
Oh Jesus.
All right.
And like I don't know, I've been trying to do it all day today. I cannot get Ascension 10.
I'm so sad because I spent hours last night on this. I spent hours, so long. Look at all the fucking layers. Look at all the layers that I put onto this. Like I even put like the where it says Sean Umbra, Mike Umbra, Ben Umbra. Like those were originally different layers that I put behind your character sprites.
The original Penumbra.
Penumbra. And then there's the actual Umbra, and then I have like bad guys, and then the actual map. Put so much work into this. You guys are just role playing. It's weird. It's weird. Ben, you're playing this so weird.
I'm willing to just kind of always go with the flows.